announcement drew pushback from Democratic lawmakers who said there is no need for federal troops to be deployed to the city. Continuing on, and this is the words from Oregon Governor Tina Kotek. There is no national security threat in Portland. Our communities are safe and calm. At a news conference on Saturday, Kotek said that any deployment would be an abuse of power, and she was coordinating with Oregon's Attorney General Dan Rayfield to see if any response is necessary. We will be prepared to respond if we have to. You see?
Yeah, if I may add real quick, bro. Yeah, because I spoke with someone in the world too that was a liberal, and she said the same thing too. You know that that statement right there is exactly what that person said, because she said, you know, oh, Trump's just doing this that way he can just show that he's in charge. You know, but it's like, yeah, you know, he's a puppet for the international bankers, but you know, at the end of the day, he is in control. You know, he is the one. He's not just like showing it. I mean, this is what he is. You know, and he is gonna bring that to show that power. You know, because at the end of the day, he got that power. You know, he may be a puppet, you know, for the elites and all that, but he's the front man. You know, no matter how, you know, people slice it, you know, but that is that's why people are going to be in for a rude awakening, because a lot of people think, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, well, you can't do that because this, the Constitution, this and that, you see? So, what people are, you know, fail to realize is that, you know, these Edomites, these devils are really gonna, you know, show their horns. They're really gonna push for that new world order.
Hell yeah, bro.
You know, so it ain't gonna be just, you know, where like the average citizen just thinks like, oh yeah, you know, well, he can't go that far because, you know our rights, and, you know, nah.
Yeah.
You know?
He's King Trump. He ain't president. He king.
Yeah, see?
Time magazine crowned him king of America.
Look at
King
that.
of Babylon.
You know, and that's how, you know, washed up these Babylonians are, you know? Because, you know, that liberal I was talking to in the world, she said, she was, oh yeah, Trump is supposed to do that to show that he's in control. It's like, he is in control, you know? Like,
literally.
You know? But that just shows, you know, because these liberals still think that, you know, they live in La La Land. You know, they think, oh, you got it? You got it? Just a little more. Yeah, because they think that, you know, like, oh yeah, the Constitution, you know, this and that, you know, like it's not gonna happen. Like, oh yes, it is. You know,
it is gonna happen because he is the cruel Lord. He is the cruel Lord. You know, he is the king. He has the power to do that, man. How have the oppressor ceased? How have the golden city ceased? You know. So let's jump to your precepts, which you have, bro.
This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1 on down. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Shai rideth upon his fifth cloud. Alright, so Yahweh, the Most High, who the world stubbornly and vaguely calls Yahweh. Alright, his name is called Jehovah. His name is Yahweh. Alright, so this the world. Alright, they say, oh, I believe in God. You know, I believe in Jehovah. His name is Yahweh. Alright, this is how this is the Most High's correct name in Hebrew. Alright, he's gonna send his son Yahushai down here. Alright, in a swift cloud, talking about the so-called UFOs, so-called UAPs. You see, to pretty much wreck shop. You know, to shut the place down. Because as you can see, at the rate that it's going, that if the Lord would not return at the time that he would, there would be no flesh to be saved. These Edomites would destroy themselves. Alright, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall melt, shall be moved at his presence. Right. Okay, because the elites here, you know, NASA, you know, leaders in the military, they're seeing these ships and they're petrified. You know, because they don't know how they work. You know, so these, you know, these leaders all around the world, but especially here in America, you know, they, they're petrified. You see? And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. So that's the point right there, okay? Because, you know, America's pride, America's foundation is crumbling, you know? So without foundations, a place cannot stand. You see? Right. So this is what we're seeing right now. You know, you're seeing even Esau, homeless Edomites. You're seeing Edomites complain about Edomites. That's division. You know, that's Saint Matthew. All right. If Satan be divided against Satan, how therefore can his kingdom stand? because that's what we're seeing right now.
Okay, because we're seeing the stability of Egypt crumble. That's why they're saying their hearts shall melt in the midst of it. That's why the scriptures also say in Isaiah 33:6 that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. Because while their stability is crumbling, we put our faith in the Lord. Our wisdom and knowledge is going to be our stability. And that's why Yahweh Shai had that parable of the man who built his house upon sand and the man that built his house upon rock. You don't want to build your house upon sand. These Babylonians, they built their house upon sand. They built their house upon a weak foundation, a foundation that's crumbling, a system and a kingdom that's crumbling, man. A kingdom that's divided. If Satan be divided against himself, but stand up against us, he cannot stand but have to end. You see, as Yahweh Shai told us in Mark the 3rd chapter. So we're building our foundation upon rock. Mawat is on rock solid. A rock solid foundation. Which is within the Lord, which is within this truth, man. That's why the scriptures say, make sure to build your house upon rock, man. And why wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times, man. Because that's the only thing that's going to truly keep us sane, while the whole rest of the world is insane, and while their mental and their stability is crumbling, ours is going to continue to grow and be strengthened, man.
That's right. Verse 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So right now, you're seeing the beginning stages of what is about to turn into a civil war. Okay, how, Trump is going to send, the National Guard out there to Memphis. So it's just going to be escalations, And you got Jake out there in those areas that is, who's going to, fight back. And, Esau's going to lay a lot of them down. But the fact is that it's going to be, American versus American out here. A big civil war, civil unrest. Because once that starts to happen, that's it. Everything shuts down. Stores, martial law. So with that comes everything else in like a trickle effect. Like a domino effect. See? And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. Okay, so.
No. You're on verse 2, bro.
So and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, American versus American, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, because those of you out there that in the world think, I have a good neighbor and all that. That's going to be your worst enemy in that time, because he or she knows everything that you got, in your garage, whatever, because these Babylonians be celebrating birthdays and all that, so they know.
Yeah, but before it even gets to that, Egyptian against Egyptians. How is it gonna get to that? These regular everyday people against these troops. Alright, and these militias against these troops. That's gonna be the start of Egyptian against Egyptian. That's gonna be the start of all our hell and chaos breaking loose. And then it's just gonna get to a point where everybody's just gonna be against everyone. Like you were saying, neighbors against neighbors, man. That's just why it's gonna get to people going into each other's houses and going and robbing other people for what they have and for their goods, man. It's gonna start off right now with just these people against these troops and sedition amongst men, but eventually it's just gonna trickle down to everyone standing up to fight against one another with swords in their hands, man. Getting in how you live, of course, your actions, standing in your own power, whatever you're able to do by the might and strength of your hand that the Lord allows. That's what you're gonna do in that day. If you aren't a servant of this, just out here feeding, trying to survive, man.
And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor.
I see how the brother was talking about when he was going into how you had people over for your little son's or sister's birthday party, and they were your neighbors. It's going to start off with people just fighting one against one another, fighting against the armies and fighting against the troops and fighting against these different militias. But then it's going to turn to brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, because of the all-out hell and all-out chaos that's breaking loose, man. You're going to have to. You're going to have to fight off against them, defend for yourself and for your family, because they're going to try to come against you and your family for what you have, and then you're going to try to go against these everyday other people and their families for what they have, man. For the lack of bread and for great tribulation, just as the scriptures say.
Alright. And so, right there, brother against brother, because it's gonna get very cutthroat out here, very, very difficult. Yeah. Because remember the time in the when the pandemic first happened, you had people telling on each other. It's gonna get very cutthroat, especially when there's tanks out here in the street. No food out here. You're gonna have these New World Order, elites pushing for that charagma. You see, so that's going into division too, even at your own houses with your own families, because remember, a lot of people are gonna take that chip, so that's gonna that's a lot of division between these family members. All right, it's gonna get very, very, very cutthroat out here. You see?
Yeah, the scripture saying Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, the 24th verse. At that time, shall friends fight one against another like enemies. So it's gonna be literal brothers, and there's gonna be, how people have their close friends that they call brothers. They're gonna be fighting one against another too, man. For all the chaos and tribulation and lack of bread, man. For everything that's gonna be happening at a time like never before. Jacob's trouble, man. You see?
Come on. Everyone against his neighbor, city against city, civil war, and kingdom against kingdom. That's what's being brewed right now. Okay, World War III is literally right here at the beginning stages.
Continue, bro. I was just scrolling for you.
All right, so these are like the beginning stages, but you can see all the major players are already involved. China, NATO, the U.S., Russia, the EU. So all the major players are already involved. So right now, who's backing up? Who's backing up Ukraine? You see, United States. Okay, right there in Russia. If who's backing up Russia? China, Iran,
BRICS.
the BRICS. Exactly. You see, let's take it down South America. Okay, America's trying to go to war over there with Venezuela. Who got their back? Russia and China. You see, so it don't matter how you slice it. World War III is right here because all the major players are already involved. So it doesn't matter how you slice it. It's right here. You see? And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof. Right. Yes, shall fail in the midst thereof. So this place is just it's totally out of here. The foundations are cracked. You even have U.S. Marines that are resigning because so even to the militaries, because they don't agree, like, hey, what Trump's doing is unconstitutional. So this place is just that good old fashioned, like they used to say, American dream is done. The place is finished.
I got quick precepts just to go along with that, because the spirit of Egypt felling in the midst thereof is going into the mirth of the land being gone, man. Nothing is the same anymore. There's a conspiracy theory going around, that America is going to go back to normal and that Trump is going to be able to make America great again. That's the biggest conspiracy theory in recent human history, because everything is going to continue to get worse. As the men of the Lord have been telling you, it's gotten so to the point where women and men are coming on the internet saying the Israelites are right and we owe them an apology. The failing in the midst thereof. That's going into the merry, let me just bring it out. Isaiah 24:7, the new wine and mourning, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. Why? Because the spirit of Egypt is failing in the midst thereof, and they're not able to go out here and enjoy themselves how they used to and have fun like how they used to. They're constantly being bombarded with world news and everything going on in the earth, that they aren't able to distract themselves with wine and a song, and with a sports game, or with a UFC match, or with drugs, or with alcohol. Okay, or with weed. They aren't able to distract themselves anymore, man. They have to fully look in the mirror and face themselves for who they truly are. A wicked, evil sinner that if they aren't given the chance to repent, they're going to die. If they aren't given the chance from the Lord to repent, that they're going to die. A very horrible death at that. Verse 8, the mirth of tabret ceases, the noise of them that rejoice in the joy of the harp ceases. Going into this music, the mirth of tabret ceasing, that's going into the music and different bands and artists and everything, all that ceasing, man. Music is getting worse and worse, man. It's all getting worse. Verse 9, they shall not drink wine with a song, going into them having fun at the club, drinking and dancing and partying. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. Skip it down to verse 11, there is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened, the mirth of the land is gone. Okay? And that goes hand in hand with the spirit of Egypt failing in the midst thereof, man. All right, the spirit of this place, that American dream, that American spirit is failing. It's getting weaker. This place is waxing worse and worse, and waxing feeble, waxing weaker and weaker. You see? Look at you.
You got it.
Oh, no.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
All right, come on. So this is Isaiah 19 and verse 3 again from the top. And the spirit of Egypt shall male in the fist thereof, in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the council thereof. So that's what's happening right now. Okay, the council, because even these leaders, they're even fighting with each other. It's gonna be like the Sopranos out here, all right? Because it's gonna get very cutthroat. A lot of backstabbing. There's a lot of agents out there. There's a lot of New World Order teams out there that are going to, they're gonna come hard on the Americans, So this is something that what we're entering. Okay, it's something that the council shall fail because it's divided. Does everybody like Trump? That pretty much sums it up right there. You got about half that are with Trump, half that are not with Trump. There's a clear division there. See? And they shall seek, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers. All right, because is America right here? This is a concrete proof and evident token that these leaders here, although they say in God we trust, all right, they're not going to the Lord of Yahweh. They're not going to the God of the Bible, Yahweh. Okay, this is where they're going to right now. All right, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to what? And to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards.
So what is that today? In today's modern day, palm readers, tarot card readers, brujeria, witches. That's what it's going into. They're gonna seek to like what Samuel did when he went to the witch of not Samuel, Salaki. What Saul did when he went to the witch of Endor to speak to Samuel. That was her. That was a wizard drawing up a familiar spirit, man. People are gonna seek to these different witches that are gonna be able to draw up their loved ones, familiar spirits, man, to be able to speak to them. Ouija boards and all that shit, man. That's what these people are gonna turn to. Tarot card readers, palm readers, people that know how to speak to mediums, people that know how to speak to people from the dead, mediums, and wizards and warlocks, man. That's what these people are gonna turn to. Instead of turning to the men of the Lord, instead of turning to the Lord is gonna give them over to a strong delusion and make them seek those people, man. Because man's goings are of Yahweh Shai, man. Right. Therefore, how can a man then understand his own way? So if you caught yourself doing that in those times, man, the Lord has given you over to that and has ordained you to that, man. Which is why you have to fear the Lord. Is very important, so that you aren't a spirit that is taken away from you like it was from Saul, and that you don't seek to the same familiar spirits and wizards and warlocks. So
verse 4, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, which is Trump. Okay, because now people are starting to see, the Marines, the citizens here. They're like, what Trump's doing is not right. It's unconstitutional. So this is what they're seeing. Like, hey, what's going on here? Because the first stages were he sent out ICE, to grab up the foreigners who are our people. All right, but it's trickling down to the American citizens because he's waging war on an American city. That's civil war, because a lot of these Americans out here are like, yeah, that's right, Trump, get the foreigners out of here. Hey, what are you talking about? You're next. Okay, the American citizen, you're next. You see? All right, if you're not part of that, that small elite satanic group, then you're out of there. You see? And a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord, Yahweh Shai, Lord of hosts. So who's ruling right now? Trump. He is that, that person to get this thing going. I mean, look what has happened since he's been in there. He hasn't wasted no time. Look at how many more wars there are. Okay, he's even talking crap about NATO. Okay, so this is that Revelation chapter 17 coming to effect, because even the U.S. allies are getting tired of America. And who's the perfect man to stir it up? DJ Trump. Because he'll go over there on that podium and say anything. So even America's allies are tired of America. And then Trump just adds fuel to the fire, because he'll go up there and he'll say whatever. You see?
That's right, bro. That's the cooler. Hey, as I was saying, and a fierce king shall rule over them, as it says in Isaiah 19:4, man. Hey, Trump is that fierce king. Time magazine crowned him the king of Babylon, man. Amalek is crowned him the king of Babylon. They've given America into Trump's hand under their orders to do as he wants to with this place under their orders, man. So if you want to send National Guard over here and it's not disobeying none of the high-banking elite's orders, he can. Because he's the king over this place. He's the dictator over this place, man. We're entering into a totalitarian society, man, which is all going to be headed under a one world order under the World Economic Forum, which is going to be headed by the banking families, man. Whoever they have in charge of that, man. You see? But as of right now, Trump is just this cool lord and that fierce king that's going to rule over all you Babylonians.
Oh, that was it.
Okay, come on. So this is 2 Ezra 15 and 14. And it reads, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Destruction to the world and them that dwell therein, man. Alright. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, the swords in their hands. Civil war, man. And they're going to start with these people fighting back against the army and these National Guard troops, man. We've already seen that happen on a small scale in Chicago, these various other different places that it got sent to, especially out here in LA. We already seen that on a small scale, alright? But now it's going to be on a huge scale when all our hell and chaos really breaks loose and these people really start fighting against one another, man. People are going to stand up with guns in their hands, killing instruments, alright? They're going to stand up to fight against one another, man, with killing instruments in their hand, the main killing instrument being the gun. And we already see that happening on a small scale. It's about to be happening on an even larger scale. Now more so than ever, because we in that time. Verse 16, for there should be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right, there's going to be sedition amongst men. Rebellions, government uprisings being discussed and being carried out amongst men. And even invading one another, man invading each other. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They aren't going to regard King Trump, and they aren't going to regard their governors or their mayors, man. And of course, their actions will stand in their power. I was going into earlier. Whatever the Lord allows these men to do, that's in the strength of their hands to do it, they going to do it. You see? Verse 17, a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able. Why? Because there's going to be civil war waging loose, man. You aren't going to be able to just freely travel without military clearance or press clearance like they had in Civil War in the movie. Or just because you're injured, you're dead, or you're wounded, you are just able to just freely travel because of all our hell and chaos that's going to be breaking loose, man. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the house shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right, so how much more so you prideful ass women? If men are going to be afraid because of the pride of this place, you know, the pride of our heart hath deceived thee, Esau, for because of your pride as well as 2/3, because as is the ruler, so is the people. The cities are going to be troubled and the house is going to be destroyed and men are going to be afraid. So how much more so you proud women that don't need a man to cast your man away despite you? Alright, that don't need a man, you don't need no one telling you what to do, this, that, and third. You're a strong, independent woman. How much more so you women if men are going to be afraid? And these men are effeminate as fuck, but they're still men. Even they're going to be afraid. How much more so you women?
That's it.
Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. You see? For great tribulation, man. Men are going to be running up in your household, ransacking you and everything that you got because of the great tribulation, the great time of trouble that's going to be coming on, man. The time of Jacob's trouble. This is Jeremiah 30 and 4. And these are the words that Yahweh Shai spake concerning Israel and spake concerning Judah, meaning the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Israel being the northern kingdom, and Ephraim all the way on down to Issachar, and Judah being the southern kingdom, consisting of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the whole house of Israel. Verse 5, for thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace, even though they've been promising peace. Now, which goes hand in hand with 1 Thessalonians the 5th chapter, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. As travail upon a womb of a child, it shall not escape. You see?
Khan, this is just like Trump said out of his own mouth. He said, this is the calm before the storm. You know, so, you know, you got him saying that. What is Bill Gates saying? He's saying if the first one...
Bill Gates?
Yeah, if he said if the first one didn't get your attention, the second one will. So, you know, there's going to be more pestilence out there. there's a lot of, there's a whole lot coming down the pipe. And if you're not rooted in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, if you're not building yourself up right now in the spirit, all right, then you're not going to make it. You can't do this thing relying on your own power. You have to lean on Yahweh Shem Yahushai. See, this is we're coming to it's a very exciting time and serious at the same time. Because the Lord's going to be executing judgment out here.
Our faith is about to be tested.
That's it, Khan. On all levels. Yeah.
on
all levels. So, but if you really, if you're part of that, hopeful elect, and you really have a strong foundation in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, then it's not going to be easy, but the Lord's not going to give you more than you can handle. See?
That's right. Verse 6 asks you now, see whether a man doth travail with child. So do men give birth to children? We should all know the answer to that, regardless of what these wacky-tacky Christian liberals will try to tell you. We all know the answer to that. They don't. Continuing on in verse 6, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, his lower belly, like where a child would reside on a woman, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. So why does Jeremiah in this vision see men with their hands on their belly and their lower belly, screaming in pain as if they were a woman giving birth, screaming with these terrible birth pain right screams? Why are they seeing men screaming with their hands on the lower belly and in distress and as if they seen a ghost? All faces turning to paleness as if they seen a ghost or a spirit, man. Because that's how bad these times are going to be. People are going to be getting blown to smithereens and blown to bits right before your very eyes.
And America's not ready for that.
Not at all.
Because, these wars and stuff been happening out there in the Middle East, Europe. This is another big reason that these Babylonians are about to suffer a lot more harder than the other people across the world.
Oh, virgin daughter of Babylon.
You see?
Babylon the Great is likened unto a virgin, because it's like how a virgin has never been penetrated by a rod, by a man's rod. America's never been penetrated by the sword, so it's likened unto a virgin.
See that? And right here in America, it's all, you know how it is. People, they got these, all these laws and, oh, you can't do that, you can't say that. So everybody has everything their way, They got food 24 hours, so America's in for a rude awakening as well, because like what's happening out there in Gaza, Iraq, Afghanistan, out there, they've been seeing wars for a while,
Oh, yeah.
And America hasn't seen that for a long time. So that's something that's going to be even harder on these Babylonians, because they're not used to going without. Because here, your average Babylonian has about three meals a day plus snacks and coffee. So they're just they're used to conveniency here. All right. So this is how it's going to be affected that much worse. Because your average Babylonian has always had it like their way for a long time.
That's right. That's verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. For all you freaking two-thirds that have the I'm still in the truth demon, you wacky-tacky Christians that are calling out for a rapture. You ain't getting raptured. Rapture's nowhere in the Bible. You ain't getting raptured. Your rapture day already passed. It's September 27th. You were supposed to get raptured the 23rd. That ain't happening. For anyone else that out there like Hocam Malone that went to these theological cemeteries, because they're not seminaries, they're cemeteries. You go there to kill off your spirit completely. This time has not happened. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. So how is Jacob's time and Jacob's trouble already passed, and we haven't experienced a day in human history or in recent history to where that nothing is like it? Let's continue on. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Who is that he, man? The elect. 144,000, 12,000 prophets from each of the 12 tribes, from the innumerable multitude.
Right.
Do you have any more scriptures?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right, come on, we go ahead and end on Isaiah 31.
Okay, come on.
Because these people are out here calling for Trump to federalize these different states. They're calling for Trump to federalize the states and bring out the National Guard and the military so that they can feel safe, man. Putting their trust in Egypt. They want help. They want help in Egypt, but not of the Most High. This is Isaiah 31:1. Why didn't I go down to Egypt for help? Right? You going down to King Trump for help, begging him to send the National Guard and federalize these different states so that they can feel safe. Okay, not realizing that it's to your destruction. Peradventure, it is to your doom, man. Did you see? Not realizing that is bad for you and not good. All right. And shall stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But look, they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That's a direct cut to you wacky tacky Christians and to you two turds, man. Not 2/3, two turds, man. Because y'all are liking them to do, man. Because y'all are just through completely, man. You see? So you're at fault, man, because if you truly were a Christian, a follower of the anointed, a follower of Yahweh, you would seek Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, not put your trust in Babylon or its strong military. Verse 2, yeah, he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. So not only is he going to bring evil upon this place and will not call back his words, which is the prophecies, he's going to arise against the house of the evildoers, which is Esau, Edom, the house of the wicked. All right, because there's three classifications of men: the sons of Israel, which is the sons of the righteous; the sons of men, which is these different nations. All right, the sons of the wicked, which is Esau, Edom, and wicked goes hand in hand with evil doers. You see, so he's gonna rise against the house of Esau and against the help of them that work iniquity. So anyone that's joined unto him, pursuing Isaiah 13, the 13th chapter. Okay, them and they that are joined unto them shall be thrust through with the sword. All right, the ultimate sword being the nuclear missiles. Man. You see. Verse 3, now the Egyptians are men and are not the Most High, and their horses are flesh and not spirit. You see?
Right.
So they aren't going to be able to protect you in that time because they are only men and not God, not a power. They are only men and not power, not the Most High, not Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. The horses are flesh and not spirit. All right? They aren't the angels, the chariots, or anything like that, man. So they aren't going to be able to help you how you think you should. Verse 3, when Yahweh Hashem Yahushua shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hopeless shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. So he that helpless shall fall, going into these different soldiers and military troops and different programs and federal sanctions and state sanctions and state programs and federal programs. Everything that's helping you, EBT, all that shit, all of it's going to fall. And everyone that's being helped by their soldiers in the military and martial law and these different federal and state programs, you're all going to fall together. All of it's going to fail. Like it says in Isaiah 19, the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst of it. So do you have any closing words, brother?
That's all, just, make your, to the hopeful elect out there, just keep enduring, make the adjustments and get,
Con of election.
That's it right there, and don't let your sins weigh you down. It's not called a fight because it's easy. Remember that, all right? It's a fight, So you're not going to be perfect in this thing. So don't worry if you got little struggles. Sometimes you may have slip ups. Just keep enduring. And keep trusting in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Just stay on that path. You see, and just tighten up. And make the adjustments. Get right with the Lord. See, that's the main thing. After you make your main focus on repenting and pleasing Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, everything else will fall in place. The Lord will make it right. But you gotta set the Lord first. You see? That's all for me.
Alright, so with that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Hashem Makakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders and great millstone that taught us His truth. We will well. We pray that this lesson was edifying. Until next time, I say Shalom.
Shalom. All right.